Hey friends, this is Chris.
Yeji.
Welcome back. So we've got to talk about President Yoon. He's been officially impeached. Well, almost.
Almost.
So what happened with the vote?
We just passed the first step
Right.
yesterday.
Mhm.
So we needed 200 votes.
Right.
We got 204 votes,
Mhm,
so it
mhm.
passed.
Yeah, and the way they did the voting, it was anonymous, meaning that we don't know exactly which people in Yoon's party, went for the
Mhm.
impeachment vote.
So
Um,
for 7 people, they
mhm.
publicly
Publicly said they
yeah,
were going to do it.
publicly they're gonna do it, but we don't know other five people. We don't know
Right.
who.
So no one's come out and said so.
No.
Which I think is strange because, right now it's like 70, 80% of the public wanted to impeach Yoon. So I find it so odd that
But
this
there
party still defends him. It's really odd.
the total party's opinion was they're don't vote, don't
Sure,
go
sure,
for
sure, sure. Right.
impeachment. They know that, she's kind of crazy,
Hmm.
but they can really, they don't want to lose their spot, so they can really, strongly give their opinion.
Yeah, but that's when, like we talked about before, you should choose country over party, right? Don't show loyal to a party that's basically the Titanic. It's a sinking ship.
But that's the party.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so this is the second time. The other time was Park Geun-hye was just a few
It
years
was
ago.
all,
So it's
yeah,
crazy.
did impeach her.
Hmm.
But it was total different issue that, it was more complicated, she tried to mess our government and through other ajumma and other this
So Juma means like that there was like a cult woman
yeah, this old lady, but
that was influencing her.
this time is so obvious that he did a illegal martial law.
Right.
It's not through the like legal steps. So he passed, he passing a lot of, steps and just do the martial law.
The next thing is going to be too is how many people will go down with him. Right. So we know probably the defense minister. Is anyone else maybe?
Well, yeah, a lot of them. So
Oh, you think there's gonna be a lot?
not a lot, but there is a high position people. A lot of them, did agree with him.
I think a couple people in the police, maybe like
Mm.
police chiefs. I
But
don't. What's that?
without their order,
Right, right.
they can move police.
So we're gonna see the fallout from that. One thing that was positive, clearly there was a lot of soldiers that did not go along with it. Right.
There is a one
Mhm.
officer, and I think she's general, and she heard that order. She knew that that's not really a proper order, so
Mm.
she didn't purposely follow it.
It was a she, female.
Yeah, she's a female.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Did they? Well, so my understanding is many of them slow walked it, or did she just completely refuse, or do you know?
Completely refused. Just I think she actually. I didn't read detail, but she actually got there, but they didn't do the order. Just go to convenience store.
Right, so that would be slow
Yeah,
because it's slow
that's
walking.
so lucky.
Yeah, I heard about that. Some were eating like ramen at the convenience store.
Yeah,
They didn't really fully carry out the
they
order.
they got
Mhm.
ordered the take the the what's it election officer's server.
Right, right.
That was their order, I think, but she didn't.
Didn't follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that's been going on, we talked about before in the last video, where when Yoon gave a speech, it was all conspiracy theories, like for real, it's conspiracy theories.
Did you read it after even impeachment?
Hmm.
He did give a speech right after it. It was kind of weird, and he said, I did that good, I did that, and did that, I did that all for our country and for you.
Yeah, he was
And
basically still
I'm
he was basically still defending.
yeah,
Yeah, and
still defending. It turns out he didn't even go to work. Wow.
yeah, he's been so basically he was blaming the other party that they're all working with North Korea, and North Korea's really dangerous and they're all looking
Yeah,
for China. And
maybe it's possible, but we have a lot more other problem than North Korea these days. So I heard that Japan is really, really worried that other parties take the government.
Mhm.
Yoon was really, really friendly with Japan, so I don't know. We felt like he just gave to our land to
Right.
the Japan, but we don't like it, of course.
Yeah, so the issues we have in Korea, if you're just curious on Korean politics, is basically how close should the Korea be to USA? How close should Korea be to China? And how close should Korea be to Japan? And essentially, what it is like it's hard to be friends with everybody because I'm sure you guys understand this, right? It's like just think about in your circle of friends. Sometimes there's friends that don't like each other.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why are you hanging out with them?" And so, Korea, they generally try to trade with everybody. I mean, there's advantageous. There's a lot of people who have business in China, a lot of trade with China. The same way the Koreans have a lot of business with, say, USA or Japan. But it's hard to get everyone get along, right?
So I think
Was that?
our most trade country now is USA. It's
Uh,
Korea.
I think it might be China actually. It could be. It could be.
No, no,
It could be.
you
Oh,
said
it changed.
China.
Okay, okay, maybe.
They flipped during the COVID era, I think.
Maybe because I looked at some data recently, but I know they're the top two.
Anyway,
Yeah, and there's
USA, China.
Japan is up there as well, they
Yeah,
trade
yeah,
a lot. Um, but the other thing that Korea's been, talking about as well is, building more relationships in Southeast Asia, and that's the same kind of stuff that, is very similar. So, like, say, for example, Vietnam, then China would say, "Why are you talking to the Koreans? You don't need to talk with us," right? And then so the Vietnam's in the middle. That's kind of politics in general, though, is, which side are you gonna be on? It's hard to be friends with everybody because there's always friends that don't like each other. That's that's kinda how it is. One thing that I really liked about what was going on with the Koreans, it was all very, very peaceful
Mm,
and very different than how we saw the situation play out in the USA, right?
mm,
So I've showed Yeji the pictures and the videos several times of what happened on January 6th, where all the Trump people
yeah.
attacked the Capitol. And for like Koreans to attack your blue house, which is essentially like the White House, or attack your Congress or the National Assembly would be really strange.
Then
You
you
know, would be
definitely go to jail. Pretty.
yeah, 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 for
But you
sure.
guys did it, right?
Yeah, and now Trump wants to, we say, pardon them, which is like relieve them. So I'm using this as examples because you clearly broke the law with an
Yeah.
illegal martial law. Not everyone followed it, and you're talking about using your military and your own people. In Korea's past has been very, very violent, and I've told you guys that.
He tried to break the Congress
Mhm.
and the court same time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is really, really dangerous though.
Well, that's those are the pillars of democracy, right? So you guys know this. You have your executive branch, legislative branch, and judicial branch, right? The courts, the Congress, and
Yeah.
the presidency.
Yeah.
He's just trying to take over everything. That's why I keep mentioning Trump stuff. It's a very similar sort of situation, but the people generally just rejected it. Um, the other thing that I thought was really interesting. So we have different news, like how can I say network news? So we say network and cable, right? So our three network is KBS, is it SBS and NBC. NBC was the one we were watching during the stuff, and they would just blatantly say,
Actually, I
"What's that?"
just rotate.
Well, at least the ones that I saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, Yeji. I mean, you do flip around whenever there's a commercial, right? You flip around.
Yeah. Yeah.
But NBC, and you can tell me about the other ones. I just remember on NBC, I kept going, "Are they really saying liar?" Because they would really call out you lies right away.
Yeah.
So I don't know if every channel was doing that or just NBC was strongest on that one.
Well,
Um,
it was kind of obvious he was lying, so you
you have to say
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You have to say it.
So when we were watched that, no, we didn't do. We couldn't watch other channels, so we don't know.
No, but I'm bringing it up because it's a big problem in the USA where Trump just makes stuff up.
Uh,
Right, and then they get angry if you say something. So, like, the whole remember I
yeah.
mean,
So
eating the
after
cats and
yeah,
dogs stuff,
yeah,
like that
yeah.
kinda nonsense,
After
right?
his speech, there's a lot of fact check.
Yep, yep,
The news is that right? Is that wrong?
yep. So the
It was
Koreans
wrong.
really, really good at fact checking, right? It was all peaceful. I'm just trying to illustrate the differences. A lot of young people turned out to the protests, and the protests weren't really, like, angry. Can you describe what they were like? Because you saw a lot of these videos and stuff.
Sir,
Mhm.
we do have like K-pop song that has like meaningful K-pop song.
Right,
So
right,
we
right.
kept singing like concert and
Which song was that?
actually the girls' generation.
Yeah, so Shinoshide is a Korean.
다시 만나세계. I don't know the English title.
It doesn't matter. I think it's like "I Believe" or "For Some Future," but the
Yeah,
Shinoshide, oh, you're trying to
the world we meet again, something like that.
I thought it might be New World or something like that.
Yes, same.
But it's Generation Girls' Generation, which is like one of the biggest bands. So
Even
what's that?
though a member of a congressman, he read the lyrics to
Oh, from the song?
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how that song suddenly became because it was never meant to be a protest song, anything like that.
No.
And the song's not really
It's not like no,
protest.
it's not like
Not really.
fighting song. It's like
No.
we go for new world, better world, something like
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's like, you have struggle and it's just a new world, better world. It's one of their older songs as
that. Yeah,
well. And
it's the
then
first song, very first song.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they did a really interesting one. If you guys know Feliz Navidad, did you hear that? Feliz Navidad, I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that was really funny, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So what were they singing? Singing the Korean version.
Tonight, Davida, you know,
Impeach him, basically
yeah,
says.
the Tonight, Davida is
Yeah,
actually the Davida
yeah.
is in Korean. If you sound, pronounce it like Korean, Davida is answer.
Oh,
Impeach
I
is
see.
answer.
So Feliz Navidad, and you're saying impeach Navidad, but
Davida,
yeah,
yeah.
but it matched
Yeah,
really well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I heard the Koreans all singing that really well. Koreans are like really good at peaceful professional protesting. Many of the pop stars. So I saw IU. Did you see that one?
Yeah, you're supportive.
So yeah, IU is another big pop star. So if you guys don't know K-pop stars, it's like if Taylor Swift, gave, we'll say, $20,000 to local
Mm,
coffee shops to say, hey, if anyone comes in to buy
mm.
coffee, coffee's on me, and then that's a really nice way to support. Usually the stars are kind of neutral on kind of
But this
political stuff. Yeah, this is
a lot of
a lot,
celebrities,
a lot,
they
right?
they give public opinion.
And the time that I relate it to, like, sort of the protest song stuff. So for Americans, it's kind of like the Vietnam War era. We have a lot
Mm.
of protest songs from that, and that's something that's a long time ago. It's like 1950s, 1960s kind of stuff, right? And back then, people would think, oh, those are just hippies. They're way to the far. They're not really in the middle. The kind of protests here, it was like your general person. It was like I said, it's like 80, 70, 80% of the country. They're using the biggest stars, right? So it's not like what I'm trying to explain is that we're not talking about like really small stars. We're talking like the biggest stars are coming out and saying stuff. It was really good to see. Going forward, which is the craziest thing, is the party is probably going to rename themselves. That's what they do in Korean politics. If you're not familiar with it,
Time, so
yeah,
I'm sorry
they'll.
for their new name. Because they
Yeah.
even changed like 한나라당, 새누리당. I think after that they changed again. Now is their new name.
Yeah, they'll change again. So again, it's kind of like imagine the Republicans lose an election and then they just change their name to something else, right?
Their color, I think
Yeah, change their
one
color,
time they were pink, but now they're red.
and just pretend like, oh, we're a different party now, right? It's just so ridiculous. So, um, going forward, they're going to have Supreme, or yeah, your
Yeah,
Supreme
yeah.
Court has to hear it, but
But we have to
yeah,
hire, the pick three.
select, yeah,
Yes, yes, select three more judge.
yeah, because there's been 3 empty seats. So have they said how long that's going to take?
Because we have to, that we have to check,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
personal
But
check.
they
So
haven't said necessarily,
it takes time. So
right?
at least 2, 3 weeks, at least.
Oh, so theoretically, it could be that fast, though.
I don't know. I don't know.
It, I
So it's up to them. It's
Yeah.
all up to them.
Yoon, I don't think he's just basically out of public right now. Basically,
Mm.
I don't think we're gonna he theoretically could give a speech, but because how it works right now is
So
the completely out.
yeah, his right is all gone. The president right is
Would they
stuck.
would they kick him out of the Blue House right away? They should be, right?
Um,
He lives there, doesn't he? The
it-
people, or is that just an office?
They're off his new office.
Right, right, right. Yeah, that's a other thing. So if you guys don't know, which is really weird, and I remember Yeji first told me this. So when he first went office, they call it the Blue House again. It's just like the White House, but they decided to change the location, which was really bizarre.
There,
Yeah,
I think it's all conspiracy. The fortune teller told, oh, over there,
yeah, their luck or whatever.
hello, yeah.
Yeah. So just imagine if Trump moved to the White House and was like, you know what, I need to build a new White House because this isn't good for
Yeah,
me.
it's Miami. I
I need
need a
to go.
My White
Yeah,
House. Something
it's
like that.
something like so that's how bizarre this guy has been from the very beginning, and so yeah, it seems like you would kick him out right away, but and I don't know like if they're going to officially arrest him. Also, they could be, that's a
Mm.
possibility because he's under investigation because impeach is like more the political part of it, but then there could be the legal part where you.
his passport,
Oh yeah, he can't leave.
but I'm not sure that he's my first lady.
Oh right, there was no vote on that,
Yeah,
right? There was only one vote.
I think her. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's right.
her passport still
Could go.
active. Yeah,
Yeah, because the first time they tried to impeach Yoon, there was the first lady vote, basically corruption voted to can we investigate her, and then his vote, and then the second time around there was only
okay,
him.
yeah, yeah. We make more simple.
Mm. The other thing too, which is different about Korea, like say the USA, is there's more than just two parties, right? And so then it was very interesting how there'd be like the leader of the smaller parties. They came up and give different speeches, and it shows that you can have more than one party and still be a healthy democracy, right? It's in the USA where many people complain we're trapped in a two party system.
Yeah,
What they feel like. So it's true. There's still two like bigger parties, but there's plenty of candidates in office that were of the smaller parties, and they all had a voice. And then essentially, how it works is you kind of form coalitions. Like so, each party has like kind of their, maybe certain issues that they want to go for, and certain voters that they appeal to. Um, but I think going forward, at least in my opinion, and I don't know how long it's going to take, but when the older generation, is too old basically, and and we're they're long gone. Things will be for the better in my opinion, because the people who are supporting Yoon like towards the end, they would show some video footage of them. They're all older. They're all older.
there is a still, you have 30, 40. Some people
So they're still
still, support not necessarily him party, but that's a democracy. That's a democracy.
sure people have a right to vote
Yeah.
whoever, but I'm just uncomfortable with all the conspiracy theory crap. It's just like I always say all the time. Yeah, I'm fine. You can have whatever opinion on on reality, right? But essentially, if we're voting on if the aliens are taking over or
Yeah.
what,
If
that kind of stuff.
Scientology comes to
Yeah, because the Park Geun-hye was connected to a cult for real. And
yeah, too.
do we know that for sure now?
Not for sure, sure, but
High chance.
yes, yeah. It's called either, like fortune teller stuff. It's so old
Yeah.
about
The best way to describe it is like a Scientology kind of thing, because they would make sense if like why would you move the Blue House, right? And we'll find out this stuff later. If you don't know, Park Geun-hye after impeachment, she did go to prison. I think she got out though. So he could also could always get pardoned in the future, which is just part of how the game is played. Even Chun Do Hwan, does his name right? Um, he must have gone to prison and then got out
yeah, got
and
out.
lived in his house the rest of his life or something.
Problem.
That's what they claim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't know, that was the former dictator. And if you guys are interested in this topic, I always recommend a couple movies. So one is it's the translation is Soul Spring. It's also called 1212 the Day.
It's on Netflix, so easy to find it.
Depends on which region.
Oh.
Yeah, every country's different. So you can find it on Netflix, or you might find it on Apple or Amazon. Should be, yeah, because it was actually in our news that Netflix had a major spike in that viewership. So I don't know if everyone watching my channel and started watching it, but it's called 1212 Today. It's about a military coup. It's a fantastic, I mean, absolutely fantastic. It was the number one blockbuster movie in Korea last year. And if you like Squid Game, you'll know that Koreans make good stuff. The other movie I would suggest watching is called 1987, and that is another fantastic movie. That one, the basic gist of it is about people, like generally speaking, they don't want to get involved in politics. Like the average person, it's like, but
Live my life.
yeah, want to go on dates. But then
Yeah,
there are certain situations where it's important for you to participate,
sure.
and it's just a brilliant movie. I cry. It's just a brilliant movie, and when you put those two movies together, you understand why today, where
Very
Koreans are
good.
peaceful. Peaceful is important.
Yeah,
Peaceful.
peaceful
Yeah.
and soldiers don't follow
Yeah.
illegal.
Yeah.
Because
Because yeah,
we do have history that if you stand wrong side, you're screwed.
you don't want to be on the wrong side of history. I'm really proud of how the country has grown quickly and peaceful democracy, and everything was done
Yeah,
through the law. Like they kept talking about the law every time in the news. They would just talk about the law, so they were really clear on that. Hey, we're letting Yoon defend himself. We're letting because even though we all know Yoon's guilty, like we all know, but you go through the procedure. You have a vote. Like, that's part of rule of law, right? And it's just it's honestly it's it's really good for Americans to see that it can be done. So don't give up. So, all right, thanks for sharing time with you guys, and we'll check you next time. So, bye.